vocabulary just depends on what we can find, inshallah. And if it's beneficial for others to also, then no harm in recording it. But otherwise, we can just test it out, see how it goes, keep it informal. Whatever you feel is suitable, inshallah. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. That link, yep, I can do that, Abu Maymoon, because I've got you on WhatsApp. Give me a second. Remember, send me a message, please, because I can't seem to find your number. I've got an old number that's coming up.
Maybe we can post it on the group. I think that's it looks like a useful resource, inshallah.
Yeah, no. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah Abdullah. Ahlan wa sahlan. The guys that joined later, can you still see the messages that have been sent previously? Or does it show up as blank chat? I think it will show as blank, right? So the group.
No, I think they can see it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So the idea basically is, inshallah, it shows blank. All right, I'll post it here again. So the idea is to use that resource or any other resource that you have, and we will decide, for example, on what rules we picked up and we're learning and focusing on in each lesson. And your job would be to find any ayat relating to that and then post it in the chat. Post it in the chat, inshallah. All right. So we'll begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man ittaba'a hudahu. Amma ba'd. So Dars al-Sabi' Ashar, going back to this point, because this is possibly where we stopped looking at showing or implementing the rules that we were learning and finding them in the Quran. So what was mainly being taught in Dars al-Sabi' Ashar was this concept of joining two verbs with an. Aturidu an tadhhaba, and then the verb after an is going to be mansub. So this is what I want everyone to look into the Quran using that app or any other app or any other way. Is to open. You can actually open the Quran in any place and see if you can find it. That's probably the best way to do it. The best way would be to open the Quran and see if you can recognize or notice that this is being, you can find it. All right, so let's see if it works on the app over here. If I search I'm sure it's going to come up with so many things because I'm doing it without a shadda, but here's one, Surah Al-Baqarah. Comes up. من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل. أمر أن يوصل. That's one. And here's another one. يأمركم أن تذبحوا. And what I often like to do is go towards the end. So this is in order, and you can just keep going. Over here it says mazid. Can you see where it says mazid? Which means more. Keep going down and until you come towards the end. So there's so many examples of an being used. It'll take you some time to get to the end of the Quran. And those surahs that you're familiar with. But you can see there are in fact so many examples of an. Look at this one. ستجدون آخرين يريدون أن يأمنوكم ويأمنوا قومهم. And that's an example where an and the verb after it is mansub. Has anyone found any examples that they can share? You can share it in the chat. Yeah, very nice. Mashallah, very nice. Exactly, very beneficial. Absolutely. Okay, so that's one rule, which is an, and then the fi'l after it is going to be mansub. And in this ayah that you have, you can see ya'manukum. Ya'manu is, in fact, the ayah that I sent in the chat. ستجدون آخرين يريدون أن يأمنوكم. يأمنوكم is فعل مضارع. And as you know, فعل مضارع, when it is in the plural form, is from الأفعال الخمسة. يفعلون, يأمنون. But because of an, then فعل مضارع is going to be mansub. So therefore, you say, oops, get that pen again. Yeah. No. It becomes ya'manu, and you would normally see an alif over there. And the alif is not there because the dhamir kum is there. Ya'manukum. But then immediately after it, Allah Ta'ala says, wa ya'manu. Now the alif shows. وَيَأْمَنُوا قَوْمَهُمْ. So you can see that this fi'l over here is mansub because of an. This is mansub because of the waw. It's badal of this. And before an, there's a fi'l, it says yuriduna. يريدون أن يأمنوكم. Allah says يريدون أن يأمنوكم. جيد. I've not seen any examples coming through yet. So if you, maybe it will take some time to get used to it, but do feel encouraged. Another thing that we studied in the Dars al-Sabi' Ashar was Lam al-Ta'lil. And Lam al-Ta'lil is basically the lam, which is the purpose behind an action, and the fi'l which comes after it. This is not the lam of which is harf al-jar, but the fi'l that follows lam al-ta'lil. Lam al-ta'lil comes before a verb, before a fi'l, and the fi'l that comes after lam al-ta'lil is also going to be mansub. But the grammarians, they said this is not mansub because of lam, but in actual fact, it's because of the hidden an al-mudmara, So with regards to the question, are we going to start book 3 today? No, we decided not to commence with book 3 until we actually had the opportunity to interact with book 2 again, consolidate it, because I know that people are revising book 2 lessons and they might feel somewhat shy or nervous or hesitant to start book 3 straight away. And you shouldn't stop the journey. You mustn't stop the journey. You must keep going. We spoke about this so many times before. Don't go back to book 1 again. It's going to be repeated in book 2 anyway. You can go only for the vocabulary, but you just go there and take the vocabulary out into another place, and keep it together. Book 2, going through it in this way will help you to remember some of the rules. But again, it's not enough. 1 lesson, 2 lessons a week is not enough to learn a language as rich as Arabic, language of the Quran. But this is just, a help and an encouragement for you to take yourself upon that journey, inshallah. Okay, so can you find any examples of lam at-ta'lil in the Quran? Okay, so here they have examples. لنفهم ندرس اللغة العربية لنفهم القرآن الكريم. قام المدرس ليكتب على السبورة. Okay, so you can use this site again. Simply type lam. We're gonna get so many hits. Let's see which of them are lam at-ta'lil. And if you recognize one, go ahead, open the mic and mention it or read it. We want the lam that is followed by a verb, which is lam at-ta'lil, and the verb after it's going to be mansoob. I haven't seen anything yet so far. Have you seen anything? And like I said, you don't have to use this website. You can use an app on your phone. I just typed it on my phone, lam, and it comes up with 5,000 results because the harf lam is going to be everywhere. And I don't know how to control lam at-ta'lil over here. We are not looking for specific fi'l, specific verb. But we just, because it's highlighted in blue, you can see where the lam is. And we're just noticing if there is any example that has a fi'l that comes after it. In the meantime, I'm using my phone as well and seeing if I can find something we can possibly go directly to, but there are lots of examples of the noun. Has anyone found anything? Okay, mashallah, here we have Imran saying, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَظَلَمُوا لَمْ يَكُنِ اللَّهُ لِيَغْفِرَ لَهُمْ. أحسنت وبارك الله فيك.
آمين وإياكم.
And where's the, can you send us the ayah reference? Do you have it?
Surah An-Nisa, verse 168.
Is that coming over here in front of us, is it? Yeah, you're right. That's actually a good thing, Abdullah. Because on my app, when I typed in lam, all of the lams are highlighted. It's 5,000, 6,000 lams almost. Over here, it seems like the only ones which are harf, rather than any lam inside a word, which is much easier to deal with. So in order to save time, yeah, I need you guys to work alongside me to find these examples, okay? And we've got an example now of this Surah An-Nisa ayah. You said 168, did you? So it should be here coming up.
Yeah.
And it hasn't highlighted. Look at that. So I was actually looking for highlights. But here is your example, the one that you pointed us to. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَظَلَمُوا لَمْ يَكُنِ اللَّهُ لِيَغْفِرَ لَهُمْ وَلَا لِيَهْدِيَهُمْ طَرِيقًا. Indeed, those people, those who disbelieved and oppressed, Allah is not going to forgive them or guide them the straight path. Jayyid. Alhamdulillah. We'll keep moving.
Do we have a latarkabunna? Latarkabunna.
Okay, so that one, that's not lam at-ta'lil. That is lam at-tawqid.
Yeah, sahih.
Lam at-tawqid. And you know it's lam at-tawqid because number one, it's got fatha on it. And another one, there's this noon mushaddada at the end, which is also for emphasis. And they often come together.
Right, yes.
طيب. أحسنت أخي بارك الله فيك. So that's Lam Ta'leel. And let's keep
So,
moving.
Ustad, I was just thinking, like, obviously from next lesson onwards, is it fair? Do you think we should, Masalan, you might say that, okay, next lesson we are going to do lesson 18, for example,
Yeah,
and then the students, they do their research and they come up with the Quranic verses which
I
are
think so.
applicable to those.
I think so. That'll be
And
working in advance. Get the brothers and get the sisters busy doing that. Very beneficial for them. And also it will save time and make the class obviously a lot more of a lot more benefit.
yeah,
Inshallah.
yeah, inshallah. And maybe we can open the WhatsApp group. So whichever brothers have selected the Quranic verses, they can post it over there, so that, we will have, for each lesson, we can have the Quranic verses attached to it. So at least 5 Quranic verses or 6, would be, I think, good number, inshallah.
Jayed, very good idea. Ahsant, barakallah feek. So let's move on from Lam Ta'leel. The next part was Yumkinu. La yumkinuka is not possible for you, or you're not allowed to. Okay. Oh, mashallah, Ilyas has said something. وَلَئِنْ أَرْسَلْنَا رِيحًا فَرَأَوْهُ مُصْفَرًّا لَظَلُّوا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ يَكْفُرُونَ. Aha. Are you looking at لَظَلُّوا? That lam over there, Ilyas.
نعم.
That lam is not lam al-ta'leel. That is actually also lam al-tawqid. And the fi'l is fi'l madi. It's not fi'l mudari. So you will find that lam al-ta'leel enters upon fi'l mudari. Okay. أحسنت بارك الله فيك. So here's يمكن, what came in the Dars al-Sabi Ashar. I searched for that word and it came over here. We've only got 3. But it's different. This is numakkin. Numakkin. That's different. It's a different word altogether. Amkana maybe. Because the fi'l is amkana yumkinu. فأمكن منهم. But in actual fact, this is a different word. Amkana minhum is not the. Is it the same one? Amkana yumkinu. Amkana minhum. I don't think it is. It's a different fi'l. Okay, I'm not sure if we're going to find an example of that in the Quran, but we could actually possibly look for it in the Sunnah. And what would be a good website for that? Sometimes I use the website. What do we use? Durar.net seems to be a good resource. And another one that I use sometimes is hadith. We were looking for this word yumkin, but we're going to skip that. We'll keep moving. And while we look somewhere else, okay? Here we have some words over here. Let's look at the word mundu. Mundu, since. Anyway, Ahsant Abdullah, that's the example. Brothers, do send the references with it, okay? It'll be more beneficial for us. Abdullah sends the ayah, وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِيَذَّكَّرُوا. And then if you send the reference, then we can go back and actually benefit from the full ayah. And then whoever wants to read the meanings of it can do so. Can you find examples of mundu, please? We'll leave yumkinu and see if we can find it in the Sunnah. Mundu. No examples showed over here. Yeah, I think this is another word that you might find in the Sunnah. Thank you, Akhi Abdullah. Barakallahu feek. Ahsanallahu alayk. Ilyas, what was the reference to that ayah that you sent, please? Jayyid. So there are two words that we haven't found, at least through the searching on the apps, and that is yumkinu and mundu. The website I was referring to, see if I can get that link. It's spelled strangely, HDITH, deeth.com. And it gives, you can do a search therein. There you have it. This is the website that searches hadiths. So here you can possibly look for yumkinu. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, and the thing is, the good thing about this website is that it gives color coding. When the ayat are, when the hadiths are in pink, then they are weak, and the green ones, they are authentic, and they often mention, where they will mention where it is from. Okay. Let's keep going, inshallah. So there's a couple of things that we need to find in hadiths. You can do that, inshallah, in your own time. Let's keep going. Here is the verb in the mudari' of ra'a, yara, tara, ara, and nara. Any of those. Can you find any of those in the Quran? The mudari' of ra'a, yara. In actual fact, there are so many examples, I'm sure. Aywa Abdullah, barakallahu feek. So that is yumakkin, different to yumkin. Yumakkin means to place firmly on something. To place firmly on, yumakkin. Okay. In any case, let's keep going, inshallah. No, it's beneficial. Alhamdulillah, Abdullah, barakallahu feek. I'm glad you're searching. It's very good for you and for us all. So, yara, let's look at yara. I came up with eureka with the calf. We don't want the calf. But maybe it's not going to delete it. Yara, there you go. There is Surah Baqarah. ولو يرى الذين ظلموا إذ يرون العذاب أن القوة لله جميعا. In one sense, وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى أحسنت لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين. When we're looking at any of these four, yara, tara, ara, and nara. And Surah Naml, that story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, when he said, how do you pronounce that bird? The hudhud in English? We can never get it right. They say this bird is extinct, is it?
لا أدري أستاذ.
It's like spelled WHO. Oh, is it the hoopy bird or something?
Oh yeah, that's what the translation said. I was confused by it. Yeah.
Translation, right?
Yeah.
That's the bird that went and discovered the Queen of Sheba, Malikatu Saba, and her name is Bilqis. He came back and said that, and I found these people worshipping. Is it worshipping the sun besides Allah? And the queen, she had this huge throne. Amazing story in the Quran, subhanAllah, to reflect on. Hoopo. Does it give you pronunciation as well? Okay. Ilyas sends the ayah, but we're not sure where it is. وقال الملك إني أرى سبع بقرات سمان. This looks like Surah Yusuf, is it? يأكلهن سبع عجاف وسبع سنبلات. يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في للرؤيا. Oh yeah, أرى. There you go. إني أرى. That's it. أحسنت. Which surah was that? Oh, Surah Yusuf. Well done. 43.
Yusuf.
أيوة. أحسنت. Some very beautiful examples coming up here. And then also, a very good thing to notice is if you place the word lam, before a fi'l that ends with, and this is something that, if I'm not mistaken, we may have covered it already in book 2, but at least it's coming in book 3, inshallah, is that when the last letter is harf illa, is one of the weak letters, waw, ya, or alif. If it is majzoom, then you delete that letter altogether. So after lam, the next verb is going to be majzoom, right? So look at this ayah here. ألم تر إلى الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب يدعون إلى كتاب الله ألم تر إلى الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب. So where's our verb?
ترى.
Exactly. And why is it looking different?
لأنه من فاعل العلة.
نعم ولأنه مجزوم.
نعم.
Yeah. So it says, where is it? Blue. Alam. It would have been tara. But because of lam, it's majzoom. And alamatu jazmihi hadfu harf al-illa. أحسنت أخي عبد الله. وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء. Surah Al-An'am. Beautiful. And we do not see those intercessors that you took and claimed that they were partners besides Allah. We don't see them with you now. La ilaha illallah. Let's keep going, inshallah. Keep the examples coming through. Look at this one here. أرجو أن تسمح لي بالجلوس. أرجو أن تسمح له بالخروج. أرجو أن تسمح لنا بالدخول. تسمح. عفوا. delete that. I think that is the word over here. To permit and to allow is this word found in the Quran.
No, it's not coming up with anything else there.
جيد. And how about as well as yarju, yarjuna, that's there, but not in the same formation. فهل ترى لهم من باقية. أحسنت. Ilyas, what happened to your mic? We gave it to you already. Did you lose it? There you go. طيب. What's this number 14? What are these words? Are any of these words in the Quran? What are these words? Ash-shita, al-rabi', al-sayf, al-kharif. What are these words?
Seasons.
These are the seasons. Are any of these seasons mentioned in the Quran? Abdullah says, yes, they are. Does anyone know an ayah by memory?
إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف.
بارك الله فيك. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف. الشتاء, they're traveling in the winter and they're traveling in the summer. أحسنت أحسنت بارك الله فيك. Let's have a check over here, see if we can find, are there any other examples of it? In actual fact, these words, you'll find them in the Sunnah in plenty of examples. Here, إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. One example comes there. And let's type safe. Any other examples in the Quran? Oh. Is it because of the waw that was before it? Yes, that's interesting. So it's not very powerful. This one, the waw was before it, it's not recognizing it. A safe comes up, only one example comes up in my, so what we can do, inshallah, is ask the brothers and sisters as homework, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to Ilyas, have you got 2 accounts? Okay, you got the mic now, have you? Okay, Jade. Ilyas, voice. There you Jade. No problem. So what we'll ask you to do in a dars al-thamin ashar, and we'll do 2 lessons at a time, inshallah. الثامن عشر والتاسع عشر, as many examples as you can find in the dars الثامن عشر, whether it's vocabulary, okay, so for example, Salat al-Maghrib, Salat al-Asr, Qamis, al-Abyad, so many words, Ruju', returning, Aqlam, Suq, Allahu Akbar. I think if you have fun looking for these words, you might find these words similar to them in the Quran. Do a dars al-thamin ashar and dars al-tasi ashar بإذن الله تعالى. Why not? I know I don't think we're going to have time to read it now, to be honest. If you want to read some of those ayat, you're welcome to read them. We'll be very happy to hear you, inshallah, reading. While we continue to search for other ayat. We don't have to read them. MashaAllah, you've got the reference for that hadith, Ilyas, and which, okay, MashaAllah, well done. And here at the end of Sabi Ashar, you have these words, these Al-Kalimatul Jadida. So, any of these, can you find any of these words? Utratun. Okay, so that reference there hasn't told us whether the hadith is authentic or not, right? We know that hadiths in Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim are going to be authentic. And if they're in any other books, then we need to ask the scholars and see what they have declared the hadith to be. So Shaykh Al-Albani, rahimahullah ta'ala, he checked so many books of hadith, and from amongst them are the 6 main books, or the 4 other than Bukhari and Muslim. He checked their hadith, Abu Dawood, Jami' Tirmidhi, and Sunan al-Nasa'i, Ibn Majah. So whenever there's a reference with those hadiths, it's important to see what a scholar, a competent scholar, like someone like Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah, had declared that hadith to be. Well done. I'll see if I can find inshallah that hadith. I've got an application as well that will help us. Inshallah, but even the applications, I don't want to encourage you all just to focus only on applications. Applications can help you save you time to point you in the direction. Once you know where something is, always go back to the original source and check it for yourself. Check it for yourself. See, is it the same as it mentioned? Is that reference accurate? You'll be surprised. You'll actually find many a time the page number is off, the hadith number is off, the reference is not accurate. Sometimes it's missing altogether, because human error is it's possible for anyone to make mistakes. So even the wordings of the hadith, there could be typos, so many different things. So you can use these applications to point you in the direction of something, a hadith or even an ayah, but then always go back to the actual, to the mushaf or to a book of hadith and check it for yourself. And this is one thing we saw the scholars doing, even in their old age, very old age, up till today. You find scholars very old, they not satisfied even when someone transmits something in another book and mentions that this hadith is found in such a place, they will go to the original source and check. This is the way that the deen has reached us, and it was preserved in this way. The Sahaba, they would travel for this purpose. Here I found that hadith that you've mentioned is in As-Silsila As-Sahiha of Shaykh Al-Albani, alhamdulillah, As-Sawmu fi Shita Al-Ghanimatul Barida, which is the same hadith you mentioned, but the wording is the other way around. Silsila Sahiha 1922. And you go to 1922, you might find it's not there. So it's also important to check. Here it mentions that the hadith is in Sahih al-Jami', as-sawmu fi shita al-ghanimatul barida. So fasting in winter is cold war booty, right? Basically easily gained rewards. Prophet ﷺ is encouraging us to all to fast, particularly in the winter. People have an excuse. People make excuses for themselves in the summer. The days are long, the days are hot, it's difficult to fast. And then it comes the winter and they're not used to fasting. They haven't prepared themselves. So they do not feel encouraged. They're too fast. But in actual fact, the Prophet ﷺ is specifically encouraging us to fast in the winter because the reward is easy to gain. No. So here you have these words. Utlatun is one. Misrun or Misru is another. Ahlun, Asha'un, which is not Isha, is Asha, which is dinner. Subhanallah. This hadith that was mentioned also by Ilyas, authenticated by Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala. Ishtakat an-naru ila rabbiha. This is that hadith about the fire complained to its Lord, that part of it was eating a part of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it 2 times to exhale, to an exhalation and an inhalation. Nafasain, 2 breaths. Nafasan fi shita, a breath, inhaling in the winter. Wa nafasan fi sayf, and an exhalation in the summer. فَأَمَّا نَفَسُهَا فِي الشِّتَاءِ فَزَمْهَرِيرٌ. As for its breath, its breathing in the winter, this is the bitter cold that we find. وَأَمَّا نَفَسُهَا فِي الصَّيْفِ فَسَمُومٌ. And as for its exhalation in the summer, then this is the severe heat that we face. And this is something that is a matter of the unseen that we believe in. These are matters, authentic hadiths. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us from the creator of the heavens and the earth. And we believe them without saying, oh, how? That wasn't in my science books. That can't fit in my mind. How's that ever going to actually happen? And does that mean the summer, all sorts of, you have to say, satanic questions start coming. How can I have a breath? How does it breathe? Why only one breath? Why is it in some parts of the world it's hot and some is cold? This is basically where the philosophers went astray. Where the Sahaba, what did they used to say? They used to say, if حيث وقف القوم, stop where the people before you stop, meaning the Sahaba. Go ahead, Akhi Imran. Stop where the people stopped. The Sahaba, when they heard these types of hadith, they didn't start scratching their heads and say, oh, wow, how did that happen? What? Wow, we don't know about that. Explain it further. No, they didn't. They just accepted it. They knew this is the most certain form of knowledge that came to them. Knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from above the heavens. And they had yaqeen, they had certainty about it. And this is the way of the believer. And this is the difference of the Salafi and the non-Salafi. The Salafi submits totally and absolutely to Allah says, to what Allah says and what the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Total submission. You believe it exactly as it came, without misconstruing and changing meanings and twisting things and trying to. And if there is room for explanation to understand something, then the scholars in the past, they have taken that role on for us, alhamdulillah. And you find in the tafsirs of the Quran, authentic tafsirs, not the inauthentic tafsirs. When you focus on the tafsirs that the ulama guide you towards, tafsir of Ibn Kathir, tafsir of Tabari, Qurtubi, tafsir of Sa'di, the authentic tafsirs which are beneficial for you to benefit from. And you can restrict yourself to that and benefit, inshallah. And so the way of the Salafi is to restrict him and herself to the textual evidence and not become baffled and bamboozled or confused. What does this mean? And trying to fit it in mathematically. you know, this is what the philosophers do and did, and this is what leads people astray. We'll stop there. It's time for Salat al-Isha in Madeenah to Jeddah. And bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will continue, inshallah, possibly next week, although I may not be around next week, inshallah, I'm traveling. But if we have the opportunity to have the lesson, we will, inshallah, those will respond to the week after. Inshallah, you'll just get the announcement. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakumullahu khairan for your participation, very beneficial participation, particularly from young Ilyas and young Abdullah. Our two youngsters were doing a lot of the hard work today. Others were as well, mashallah. But Allah Mubarak, very, very encouraging to see our youngsters, you know, feeling very encouraged. Yeah? Alhamdulillah. May Allah continue to bless them and keep them firm and allow them to grow up to be righteous children, good to their parents, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His oneness and acting this upon the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, remaining humble to those who are around them in society. Barakallahu feekum.
فيكم بارك الله.
Allahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Who was that? Was that Abdullah?
That was Abu Maymun.
Abu Maymun. Okay, because I assumed Abdullah was someone young. Then I heard this deep salam. I thought, okay, maybe my name's mixed up. Abdullah. Aywa, here's you. Here's the Abdullah I thought. And Ilyas.
نعم.
Barakallahu feekum. Wafaqakumullahu jami'an. Okay, until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The homework is الدرس الثامن عشر والدرس التاسع عشر. Let's see what we can get through, inshallah. If we only get through one lesson of it, then at least we have, you know, you've already done the hard work for the second lesson, and inshallah, you have that ready for the time after. It's all going to be beneficial. You have the book, go through it and get those ayat and share them with us, share those benefits. Make sure the hadiths that you might find and choose are authentic. Jazakumullahu khairan wa ahsanallahu ilaykum.
Barakallahu feekum. Jazakallahu khairan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Barakallahu.